This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Australia has a new star. I'm joined by Jim Kambosos. Unbelievable that.
Fucking superstar. Australia has got an absolute superstar. The greatest ever lightweight, undisputed champion of the world, as well as Greece. Greece's greatest boxer in history has now shown it tonight against an absolute pound for pound champion, Teofimo Lopez.
Months and months of agony and frustration. We finally got to this point. Hostile crowd here in New York. What were you and George thinking when you walked out?
Man, I told George in the sheds, I said, listen, we don't know what the crowd's like there. We know there's a lot of Greeks in New York. We know there's a lot of Aussies that basically live here and all the rest of it. But I can tell you, Lopez's people will come. I said, you win this fight by winning it round by round. When you go round by round, what you do is all of a sudden, you'll start to win the crowd over. And obviously the crowd was still sick and solid. They were still chanting for Teo and literally starting to chant to get him up because he was really, really struggling because George was making him look silly. George was rolling, had the high guard, he was moving well, making him miss, but the thing is George kept coming in and fighting fire with fire. And you know what? In the end, it showed for everybody to see. When Teo was starting to make excuses, and at the end of the day, he never expected this. This is a shock of the world. The underdog has beaten the top dog in the lightweights. And guess what? Teo started making excuses. And the crowd started booing Teo because he was making excuses. Everybody was there to see that. Amazing, amazing, mate. You know what? George is a special boy. I've tested him throughout his life. Mentally, I've tested him to see what he's like, to see if he had a weakness in his armor, if he had a chink in his armor. You know what? That boy has never had a weakness at all. He's never had a chink in his armor. He's such a special boy. And you know what? We fought around the world. We haven't been fighting Australia. We didn't want padded records. I took him out of Australia when he was 11-0 and I said, mate, you want to be a champion? We've got to make this happen overseas. We've got to go to the American training camps. You know what? If you're getting beat up, we're going home and we're going to make money. But you know what? George went over there. They threw him in there with Sergi Lipinets. George bashed him. Bashed Lipinets. Everyone's thinking in the gym, who the hell's this kid? Who's this kid? And you know what? We knew this is where we should be. And we rolled with the fights overseas. And you know what? He kept doing it in everyone's backyard. And he kept telling everyone, I came in, I did it against Mickey Bay, former world champion, you know what, who was ready to fight. He wanted George's rating. He was number 3 at the time in the IBF. And you know what? George beat him in his backyard. But that gave George the experience to a stepping level. And then all of a sudden, obviously, he went and fought Selby. Another 5-time world champion, defended his belt so many times, crafty boxer, moves well. In his backyard, right? No crowd. COVID. You know, we flew all the way from Australia and Miami training camps into the UK. Once again, George walks away with a victory. Here we are, once again, boom. George Kambosos beats Teofimo, the pound for pound, #1 champion of the world in the lightweights, and George Kambosos has now become Australia's and Greece's #1 pound for pound champion, the greatest.
Of course, a fantastic ending in the first round for your son. But talk me through the first 2.5 minutes. You know Teo was going to come out like that.
We knew it was going to come. We spoke about that throughout the whole camp. We knew that. We used Lenny Zapovigna. We used Arnold Gonzalez. We used Adrian Sosa. We used basically some sharp amateurs back home. You know, we used Danny Kennedy back in the day. These are 140, 147 guys. But you know what? These guys come and they want to hurt you. If George was rolling through these punches, you know what? Even when they caught George in sparring, they wouldn't put a dent in him. We knew that, you know what, George? Lopez cannot hurt you, mate. You can only stuff this fight up if you make mistakes. There's no way. You're too smart for him. You've got quick feet. You've got quick hands. You've got speed. You've got IQ, which was so important in this fight, the IQ. But we said, he's going to come. He's going to come early. He's going to bomb you. He's going to bomb you to intimidate you. He said 1 round. He did. He came. George took it all. George rolled, moved, defended. He did everything and survived. And then you know what? What was your game plan for the next 11? And then George catches him. Boom. In the second. I looked at Teo's eyes across that canvas and he goes, whoa, I'm in for a fight here. I'm in for a dog fight. And that was a dog fight. But Kambosos didn't lose his composure. He was zoned in. The crowd was against him. 5,000 people all chanting for Teofimo. That's easy to lose your composure. George made a mistake because he got a little bit cocky and he got caught. Any other fighter probably would have stayed down. Probably basically would have got rolled, you know, in that, I don't know what round it was he got caught. Was it the 10th? But you know what? He got up. He shook his head and he thought, I'm an idiot. What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm an idiot. I did something stupid and he caught me. That wasn't part of my game plan. I went away from my game plan. And you know what? He did it round by round, and we always said, once you do it round by round, you'll frustrate the camp. We frustrated them. We clouded their minds because they had no plan B. We always had a clear mind, and we always had a plan B. A plan A. We never went to a plan B, and we're fighting for 12 rounds, round by round.
What did you make of the card that had Teo up? I think it was 114, 113.
I don't even know what they're looking at, to be honest. But look, that's boxing. I mean, at the end of the day, I would have been gutted because I thought, here we go. The split decision's gone his way. I kind of reacted a bit prematurely. But the thing is, you know what? Because obviously it's in his hometown. He's the champion. Everybody loves Lopez, you know, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? They called it a split. Well, so be it. If that judge wanted basic Teofimo, good on him. I don't even know who the judge was. But guess what? The real judges scored it the correct way. 2 knockdowns. Kambosos dropped Lopez. And basically, Lopez dropped Kambosos. Both, you know, 8 rounders, 10, 8 rounds there. So you know what, mate? George just boxed round by round by round. And it was the cleaner shots. It was the cleaner shots that he was catching him. And you know what? Look at Teofimo's face. Look at George's face. These guys went to war. But hey,
he's coming over here.
1 round's a big call. And guess what? George always said, 12-round fights.
Are you guys coming over to us?
Just the last one. Devin Haney next. If he wins next Saturday.
Look. Honestly, I didn't think that far down the road, but we always did say, right? And look, we'll be honest. Devin Haney's got the real WBC belt. He is the champ. And you know what? He's a great guy. And we'll sit, we'll talk. I know Eddie. I saw Eddie. I said, bro, Australia, wherever this will be, matchroom boxing, they'll be doing this. And guess what? Devin Haney, George Kambosos, for all the marbles, because obviously that's the WBC belt he holds. And you know what? George got a lot of respect for Devin. But I'll tell you one thing, Devin. This business of boxing, it's mind games. George loves you. George got respect for you. But if that fight gets tabled and both camps are happy, George is going to become a real piece of shit again. And he's going to get in your head, and that's what he does. It's a mental warfare. That's what it's all about. George reads books. He reads books about war and about battle and how to win wars and battles. And it's all about mental warfare. 70% mental, 30% ability and everything else. George reads these books, you know, the art of war and all these things. He reads them.
Well, listen, congratulations to you,
thanks,
your
man.
son,
Thanks.
yourself, the whole of Australia, the whole of Greece, your team. Just an unbelievable night at the Garden.
Unbelievable. I'm so proud of that kid. I kept telling him, I put a post up on Instagram this morning. I literally expressed his amateur career. We've been there since day one. His pros. And I said to him, you know what? I wrote one statement. And basically I said, George Kambosos, you're going to the biggest fight of your life. You look up my Instagram, you look up Facebook, it's there. And I said, right now, and this was before the fight, I said, I am the proudest father on this planet. And I said that before the fight. How do you think I fucking feel now? After the fight, doing the unspeakable. No one could back this kid. Everyone's saying this kid will go. He hasn't got nothing. He's a pitter-patter kind of guy. Well, guess what? I am the proudest father in this planet right now.
Well, let's go see him. Congratulations again.